A couple of weeks ago, I showed you how the Aputure ADC produces so much better and richer colors than any other RGB light. I compared it to the Amaran 300C, and this week I have the newer CB300C. And yeah, you can see there's just richer colors over here with this light. Now, I've set both of these lights to 100% saturation. As we look around the different colors, well, I matched them up as close as I can, but there's always more color in the ADC. And there's a lot more white light spilling over in the other brands. Oh, and in my previous video, I also showed how the Aputure is actually a better white light than any other white light that I own. So I think I've demonstrated to you that the BLAIR-CG engine isn't just marketing hype. It is truly a better light. But now I want to talk about price. I'm going to do that by comparing the ADC against my previous favorite light, the Light Storm 60X. Oh, and I'm also going to be answering some questions that I've gotten about brightness and color temperature of this light. Stick around for that. Right now, you can pick up the Light Storm 60X for only $410. But the Storm ADC is going to cost you $599. That's a difference of $180. Yeah, that's fairly significant, but you know what? It's not even the half of it. Because one of the great things about the 60X is that it has an actual lens in it that you can focus by moving it forward or backwards. Yeah, that's a superpower of this light. But to get a focusing lens on the ADC, well, you've got to spend an extra $109 for the f4 Fresnel. Included with the 60C are these nice metal barn doors. The ADC barn doors are not included and will set you back an additional $39. Ouch. The 60X also includes a D-tap cable so that you can hook it up to a V-mount battery. That's going to cost you an extra $10 for the ADC. A D-tap cable is included if you buy the little handheld unit that allows you to put a V-mount battery on it. But you know what? This is going to cost you $70. Oh, and that's not all. The 60C also includes this little plate that allows you to put on the Sony-style NPF batteries on here as well. And this accessory, well, you can't even get it for the ADC. But the most infuriating one to me is the Bowens mount adapter is not included in the ADC. It's going to cost you an additional $20. And worse than that, they're not even shipping it yet, and I don't have one to show you. So when you include all the accessories, well, this is $358 more money. That's $61 shy of being twice as much money for this light. But now I want to convince you that this is totally worth it. Let's start with the locking mount. The ADC has this locking mount that just really fits it tight and it doesn't wobble around in there. Whereas over here, anything you put on is going to rattle. That's because it has this old style mount. What would I pay to get a locking mount on this one? Well, I'd probably pay at least $20. Yeah, this new mount is pretty cool. But now let's compare the focusing lenses. So here's the 60X at 1% power, and it's out at full flood. And if I just turn this, it moves the light element against the lens and gives you a nice spot with a nice fall off. Yeah, pretty nice. It's very similar with the ADC. You just turn it like this, though, for the spot. So to my eyes, there's a little bit difference here. This is a little tighter when it's all the way in, but we could adjust that out. The fall off is a little different, too. And there's a little bit of a hot spot in the middle of this light. But overall, I wouldn't exchange money for this. These are both really nice, and the superpower of both of these lights. But while we're here, let's look at the barn doors. It's great to have barn doors on your light to flag off those unwanted spills. But I thought the Aputure ADC's barn doors being much bigger would do a better job. But you know what? This seems to hold its own to me, so I'm not exchanging money here either. Now, there are a couple accessories that come with the ADC that you don't get with the LS60X. And the first is this little lantern, mini lantern. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Probably my favorite accessory. I can see myself using this in a lot of different situations. So what would I pay to be able to get this onto this light? I'd probably pay $20. Yeah, I really, really like it. And of course, there's this reflector, which this doesn't have because it has basically a built-in focusing lens. Yeah, this is really nice, but I see myself using this light more with the Fresnel and the other accessories than this. So what's it worth to me to have this on this? Probably, I don't know, $5. It is kind of cute though. Oh, and by the way, this is what you can expect from the Hyper Reflector as far as the edges. Yeah, not too bad. And this light is only at 5%. We'll get to brightness in a little bit. Oh, and the ADC also has a USB-C port that not only allows you to upgrade the firmware, but you could do that inside of your Sidus Link app, but it also allows you to power this unit from a power brick. So that's pretty cool. So what's that worth? Well, I'll be doing it for my V-mount batteries, so to me, that's not worth anything. But to some of you out there, that actually might be worth a lot. But now let's talk about something that does mean a lot to me, and that's weatherproofing. This has an ISP rating of 65, which basically means you can pour water on it, as long as that water is not pressurized. So you can't take it in the pool, for example. But other than that, this thing is fully weatherproofed. This one claims to have some weatherproofing on it, but they're not giving the IP rating. So I wouldn't take it out in the rain. And what's that worth to me? Well, that's worth a lot. Probably, I'd say 50 bucks. Yeah, that's a big one to me and a defining difference between these two lights. Now the ADC does have another superpower over the 60X, and that is that this yoke here is detachable. That's pretty awesome. And it's designed that you can actually set it down. This, well, you're pretty much attached to the yoke, and there's no simple way to get it low to the ground like this. And what's that worth to me? Well, that's probably worth another $35. Yeah, I love the fact that this can come off. And I also love the fact that these little things here, they don't come off when you take it off, so you don't lose all the little parts. Oh, and for you professionals that need a wireless CRMX, well, you've got it here, as well as wired DMX. And there's a little place right here you can put that in. This, it doesn't come with that. So if you need it, well, this is what you need. But if you're like me, well, I'm not going to exchange money for that because I'm happy with the Sidus Link app. Now, both of these lights come with a power brick that you just kind of clip onto the side here. And then you've got this locking cable that goes into the back. Here you got a little twist mount system that also locks. These are different, and they're both really nice, and they work great. In fact, there's a number of things about these lights that are the same. They're both made out of full metal. They have great controls, and they're full of all those fancy effects. Of course, these have colored effects, where these only have bicolor effects. Oh, and they both come in a great case that holds all the accessories. Now, in a previous video, I complained that you can't actually put the Fresnel and the barn doors in the case, but I got a comment that said, yes, you can. You just have to move a few things around, and yes, there's room for it. But you know what? It is kind of tight. Maybe there's not room for that. But now let's talk about output or brightness. This is 60 watts. This is 80. We would expect a little bit more out of this, but let's find out. We'll turn up both lights to their max output. Of course, with the lights all the way up and the camera settings not changed, well, you won't be able to tell a difference. But let's get a reading on it with my spectrometer. All right, about a foot away, I'm getting 56,900 lux. Let's see what we got over here. Okay, now I've switched it out to max power mode, which basically puts the fan on high and gives it everything it has. Wow, I'm getting 160,000 lux. Now in max power mode, and when I turn it all the way up, well, I do get a fan noise here, man. Right here, I can hear the fan. Can you hear that fan? Yeah, you get a little fan noise out of the ADC. So one of the great things about the ADC is you have a lot of control over the fan. You can put it in smart or high where it's continuous, or you can put it into silent. If I put it into silent mode, well, it dimmed down a bit. How far? Well, let's find out. Yeah, we're down to about 1,300 lux, but you know what? Zero fan. Having complete control over the fan like this is a big deal to me. And I'd probably easily pay another $25 if I could have that feature in the 60X. Big deal. Now, having a bright light is important to me, but there's something that's also important to me, and that's being able to dim my light down very, very low. So this is the 60X at 1%, and this is the Storm at 0.1%. And you can kind of see it's putting out just the tiniest amount of light. And of course, I can adjust that up and keep adjusting it to get anything that I want, including, well, of course, all the way up. Yeah, this is fantastic control. And what would I pay to have this kind of control in this light? I would easily pay another $50. Yeah, that's how important this is to me. I use it all the time. This light over here that I have from Amaran, I have it at 1%. I wish it could go a little lower sometimes. But now, as promised, I want to go a little deeper into color temperature. Both of these lights can adjust the color temperature. The range is quite different though, because this has a colored light that can add those in, so your range of white light is much larger. But that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that this has a green and magenta shift in it. So with the controls on the back or with the Sidus link, you can add a little more magenta or a little more green. Actually, you can go all the way crazy with green or all the way crazy with magenta. But what I love about this light is that it has very fine gradations here. So I can just get a little bit more green to match this light here. And now I'll just adjust the color temperature up just a little bit. And there, I think I have a better match between these two lights. I can match this light to this light, but it's a lot harder, in fact, impossible, to match this light to this one. So if you take into account the tunability of this light, together with the fact that it's a full colored light, together with the fact that it's not just a full colored light, but gives you the deepest colors that I've ever seen in an RGBW light, well, this is completely worth the difference. In fact, it's worth every dollar, even though it's going to take a lot of dollars for this light. And if you'd like to help me spread the word about the new Storm ADC, well, just hit the like button. That will tell YouTube to send this out to more people who are interested in it, like you. Oh, and YouTube thinks that you should watch that little video right over there because they know you better than you know yourself. Hey, thanks for stopping by.